are you? Good to
Happy
see you.
birthday. Have a seat.
Thank you.
New memoir called Love Life, your second one.
Today, it just came out
Comes
today.
out today, and Allie and I were actually fighting over it last night. But I have to start out by giving you, teasing you a little bit. We all read the New York Times on Sunday. Rob Lowe on the problems with being pretty. There is this unbelievable bias and prejudice against quote-unquote good-looking people.
You know, George, and you're just the journalist to bring this to life because it's a national tragedy. Statistics show that worldwide, a minimum of 20 or 30 people suffer from this. and you know, if I can't use my podium, if I can't use my podium for good, then what's the point of it, really?
Really, you know, you are a selfless guy. That's what we always say.
Thank you so much.
Well, let's talk about this a little bit. The book is fantastic. I don't know how you keep on coming up with so many great stories in this. And I got to tell you, I'll confess, I went right to the middle and went to Rob Lowe's trip to the Playboy Mansion. 19 years old.
Can you imagine? Where were my parents? 19 years old, Playboy Mansion. And see, what I love about books like this, because I'm a fan of the genre, so I like any book that takes me a place that I'm not normally going to get to go. And I thought, how many people really get to go at the 80s when it was really crazy?
This is the top of it.
This is it, man. This was the zeitgeistiest place. And so yeah, that's a good story and a story I've been telling people for years for laughs, and I finally decided to put in a book.
You know, you also talk about some missteps that you made, and I guess I had not heard this one before. But you actually had the chance to go on Grey's Anatomy,
right?
The job that Patrick Dempsey ended up getting, and you just said, "Hey, no way."
Yeah, and I tell that story because I'm talking about how all actors and all people come to places in their lives and they have a choice. Do they make the right choice? Do they make the wrong choice? What goes into making those choices? So what's in that story is the thought process I had when I chose a different show over that, and it's called Wish Sandwich, and it's one of my favorite chapters.
Yeah, and it's also a great story about Amy Adams as well, embedded in the same one. It shows how sometimes failing or not getting something can be the best thing in the world for you. She was supposed to play your love interest in the show.
She was my love interest in the show that was canceled, and we were all very sad when it went that way. But only because it was canceled was she available to get the job. They got her an Oscar nomination.
Junebug started
her out. So, you know, like, and the love life lesson in that is, even in something that seems bad, a lot of times it's actually really good. You just don't know it yet.
We got a lot of questions coming in on Twitter, Facebook. One came from Seaval's fan. If you weren't an actor, what would you do with your life?
I would have probably gone to law school. I love law. I love public service. I might have had, you know, your early job. The
real one.
The real.
By the way, someone is saying that the West Wing may be coming back.
If only. Oh my gosh, that would be so great. I've heard nothing about that, but I would be in makeup and hair immediately.
You had a lot of fun with that show.
Oh my gosh, the best ever.
You know, you just, as we were saying, you're talking to Lara about turning 50. I'm a few years ahead of you there, but a few years behind you on something else, and you're right about this in the book as well. And it's very moving. You said so long to your son Matthew on his way to college.
Brutal. I mean, I knew it would be a big change for my son and for me and for the whole rest of the family. I was not prepared for how emotional it was for me. And my wife Cheryl was like a rock, probably because she saw me being...
Why do you think it hit you so hard?
You know, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to write the chapter, because I thought by writing about it, I could come to terms with it. And I think it has to do with a lot of things. I think it has to do with transition. I think it has to do with mortality. I think it has to do with wanting to keep your kids the way they are forever. And then the joy of turning them over to the world. And it's great because everybody goes through it, and yet it feels so unbelievably uniquely personal.
But one of the great things that also comes through in this whole book is how you've done a terrific job in squeezing the most out of every stage of your life.
Thank you. I mean, that's at its core what the book is about for everybody. And it doesn't matter what you do or where you live or what your job is. Everybody is the architect of their own life. And half the whole point of it is living it, you know, to the fullest. So I take that as a huge compliment.
It's a lot of fun to read about it as well. Rob Lowe, thanks for coming back again.